Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando, and we have another Heresy Thursday. It's the Traitor Herald console. Now, we were told last week that this was going to be turning up with a less shiny banner, and they have delivered. It's another generic Sons of Horus-esque character that nobody seems to like. So, tune in, get ready, sit comfortably for the ultimate mid-off. It is the Legion Traitor console for the Herald, and I'll be honest, yeah, it's pretty mid. We actually went through all of the consoles the other day on Discord and had a sort of discussion on what we thought of them all, and it was pretty brutal, I'll be honest. Not all of them are unsalvageable, but many of them are just not great. Now this one, for example, is pretty good as a base for other things, but I'm getting kind of bored of a very static, straight-on pose console with no dynamic posing, no movement, nothing. It's so boring it's getting close to just being a token boring. And there are bits I really don't like about this model. So let's start from the very tippity top. The banner, again, is a very small banner. Much more fitting for a command squad. Not supposed to be the Herald of the Legion, the guy who is supposed to announce the arrival of the Legion, who is supposed to carry the company standard, and is supposed to really kind of represent a giant target of, come and get me, we're here to do some horrible things to you. The eye. A lot of people are commenting on the eye. They're commenting on the fact that it appears to be everywhere now. The Eye of Terror, T-E-R-R-A, was the symbol of the Imperials. It was, representing the all-seeing eye of Earth, of terror. The Imperial, the Raptor, the Aquila, was the symbol of the Emperor. But the eye, it represented his legions. It represented his ability to reach out and touch people. So it became the symbol of the War Master. So there is a very good reason that it is there for all the traitors to wear. And in fact, it is one of the best ways of depicting traitor loyalists. Having Ultramarines with the eye symbol incorporated into their iconography, or Blood Angels, or Raven Guard, whoever. The eye on this banner is horribly sculpted. It is sculpted to make it easy for you to paint said eye, something that is not difficult to do. It did not need to be sculpted. It could have just been flat and then painted, which would have been a much nicer way of doing things, and would have required less cutting into your mould, so your mould would have lasted longer. I don't mind the banner per se, because it's nicely put together that none of these bits are probably going to snap off easily. The shaft is fine, and looks like it could do some really good work for other weapons. Clipping it off here, replacing it with an axe head or a hammer or something, a spearhead, will make this model definitely have some extra life as something else. I really don't like the chainmail. The chainmail under the pads, it looks like it's just hiding stuff. It doesn't look particularly well sculpted. It's very caddy. It's just too uniform. Chainmail doesn't really fall in these straight lines like this. It's the rings are usually a lot smaller. It's a lot flatter. The weird starburst icons that appear to just be all over a lot of the traitor models now, I'm not a big fan of. His chest has got a lot of detail on it, and I quite like the chest. I don't mind the new design of the new Mark IV. I kind of like this. I like the pipe, for example. The added details, that's kind of cool. I don't mind that at all. Now, I know some people have some serious problems with the head. Now, it's a horrible image because it was cut out from a much smaller image. Now, the issue that a lot of people have isn't with the design of the head. Some people are like, oh, it's too Primaris. Is that why you've got a problem with it? No. This bit here is not too Primaris. This is absolutely fine. This is very similar to a lot of Mark IV. The bit on the top's a little thick for Mark IV, a little bit too pronounced, but that's fine, that's not a problem. The cabling's not a problem. It is the emergence of these slightly sloped, flared ear covers. That is one of the telltale marks of Mark X armour, is this stuff. And that is... some people are like, that's why people say this looks like a Primaris head. It's the ear covers, and I'm not a big fan. I despise anything Primaris in the Heresy. Primaris Marines are 41st millennium, or 42nd millennium now. Everything else is 30k, and I don't want there to be any crossover of Primaris. So that's me being really autistic about this. The bear head's really quite good, but not for this character. I think that would have suited the Legion Champion really well, and will look fantastic on a Night Lord's character. Like the Night Lord special Apothecary, I think, would look really cool with that head. Anything Emperor's Children would look pretty cool with that head. His axe is not too big, which is nice, but it is quite clearly like a Chthonian style axe. So it doesn't really fit the aesthetic for a lot of the other legions, and we'll see that soon. The extra armor plates are kind of cool. I don't mind those at all. The shoulder pads not having a cloak over them is always good. The backpack's a bit weird with you know, the Iron Halo style, just spiky thing. But all in all, I've got to give it a 5 out of 10. I really do. It doesn't do anything special. It's another very heavily leaning Sons of Horus character. It doesn't have the neutrality, in my opinion, that a Legion console model should. You know, I think if you're going to do them for the Legions, that's fine. But I don't think this fits for, like, all the other Legions. So, as we come down, you can see some more of the details. It's literally the same image, just closer up. I wish they gave us some better angles, but they won't. And here we have some other painted Herald consoles. Again, I have to shout out when they do something good, and doing extra images from other Legions painted by the studio, much better. I do prefer that. I like seeing it. I can't, you know, shout that down or anything. One good thing is we do get to see a little bit better one of the shoulder pads, because this guy's put the shoulder pads on the other way around, so that's kind of cool. And some people were just very much like, oh hey, you know, why are they all carrying this? Why are they all carrying the eye? We covered that. That's because they are traitors. I don't mind them, but as you can see, these three here, they really kind of don't fit the aesthetics of those legions. I mean, chainmail on the Thousand Sons seems very, very weird. It kind of works for the World Eaters. You know, if you're giving them a chain axe, I guess they're not allowed to do anything to these. They have to build them as they are, which is understandable. But I'd like to see, like, here's three painted normally. Here's three where we just let them use them as a basis for anything. You know, Steve made his into an apothecary, and Gary made his into a champion. But I guess they don't want people doing that. Yeah. I want to see it cut apart. I want to see the parts. I want to see how it goes together. I want a 360. And I want a release date that's not 6 months from now. Please. I don't think that's too much to ask. But yeah, for example, this guy, if he hadn't had the chainmail on him, and he'd had a Kopesh weapon, and got rid of the spiky bits on his backpack, replace this with just a regular loincloth, much better for 1,000 Sun. Much, much better for 1,000 Suns. Get rid of this and replace it with some sort of Legion, you know, 1,000 Suns style banner. Yeah, much better. Chain axe, you know, Mark III helmet or a bunny ears helmet. Yeah, much better. You know, don't want to do that. This guy, Emperor's Children, I mean, a wash would be nice on some of the metallics. yeah, a different banner top, maybe a jump pack or something would have looked much better. So yeah, that's my feelings of this. That's lovely painting though. I do think it's just kind of mid, unfortunately. But I think that's just kind of what we're getting nowadays. Is there's so much competition out there in the world of sculpting Space Marines, and there are so many people out there kit bashing amazing models, digitally sculpting, traditionally sculpting, that are just so much better. And I understand that Games Workshop kind of has constraints. They have to make things as attractive to everyone as possible. You know, people don't want the tactical rock. They have a problem with that. Some people, you know, they want just a guy standing there. They don't like the idea of a guy moving or walking or running or something like that. But I think people are doing Space Marines better than Games Workshop nowadays, basically. And Games Workshop, I don't think they realise it yet, that they're not top dog when it comes to designing Space Marines. They might be one of the best at producing them, which is debatable with the amount of out-of-stock stuff we have at the moment. But, yeah, I just think that there are better poses, better ideas. You know, this would have been the sort of model to have him racing forward with the banner ahead of him, you know, or, you know, stabbing the banner through someone on a nice display base. You know, he should have had Vox emitters built into his backpack because he's declaring loudly that, you know, the War Master has come, you know, we're here for you, you're all going to die. That is my personal feelings. I know I go off on weird tangents, but I'm sorry. So let me know what you think. Pop it down in the comments. Thank you very much for everyone who's been commenting on the videos and watching them. I appreciate every single one of you. If you want to support the channel, like, comment, subscribe. That's the best way of doing it. And yeah, we have the reveals starting tonight, well, technically tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. I will not be up for them. And I will talk about them tomorrow evening at some point. So again, thank you very much for watching. If you guys have any questions or thoughts, pop them down in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great day. Bye-bye.